Hello, my name is Beatrice Garmley, and this is another episode of Author Character Interviews. I wrote the biography Barack Obama, our 44th president. It is a true honor to meet you, Mr. President.
Well, thank you. I don't have much to say about myself, because your biography covered it all. Let's get right into it. So why did you choose me out of all people to write about?
Alrighty, well, it wasn't originally just for you.
Oh,
I wrote this biography for the 44th president. I had written a biography about your life, and one about John McCain's life. I was only going to publish the biography of the winner of the election. It just so happened to be you.
well, thank you.
How about I start asking you about the biography I wrote, only because it is your life?
That sounds superb.
Okay, let's start it simple. Mr. President, where and when were you born?
I was born at Kapiolani Medical Center in Honolulu, Hawaii. This took place on August 4th, 1961. My parents named me after my father, Barack Hussein Obama, but I was called Barry by my family.
Okay, and can you tell me a little bit about your life as a young child?
Of course I can, Beatrice. When my father graduated from the University of Hawaii, he received a scholarship to Harvard University. This scholarship did not allow enough money to bring our family with him, but he could not pass up on the opportunity. This led to a divorce, and my mother, Anne, had custody of me. After the divorce, my mom went to the University of Hawaii. While this happened, my grandparents took care of me. After my mother, Anne, married another man, we moved to Indonesia when I was 6. Although my mom's new husband was Muslim, I still attended a Catholic elementary school.
Interesting.
Yes, very. In Indonesia, I went through a lot of schools because my mother was dissatisfied with my education.
One of your teachers I saw recalled what you said you wanted to be when you grew up.
Yes, my third grade teacher remembered an essay I wrote that said I wanted to be a president when I grew up. I did not say what I wanted to be president of, but I said I wanted to be president.
What happened next?
Next, I went back to Hawaii to go to Punahou School, which is a prestigious private school in Honolulu. I attended that school in 1971 and started living with my grandparents. My mom was not happy with her new husband, so this marriage also led to a divorce.
Okay, so Mr. President, how was your relationship with your real father when you were still a child?
Well, I did not have much of a relationship with him. My mother wrote to him about me and he wrote back very nice letters. It was hard to form a good relationship with my father because I had only seen him when I was 2 years old. That's why it was a delight to see him again when I was 10.
Let's keep it moving with your early years. So tell me about your high school life.
Okay, during my freshman year I played football for the school team. The only problem was that I enjoyed basketball a lot more, so that became my main sport in high school. My grades were good, but not outstanding. I played basketball mainly because I was inspired by other African American basketball players. I graduated from high school in 1979. I applied to many colleges and I was granted a full scholarship to Occidental College, which is in Los Angeles.
And how was this college life?
During my 2 years at Occidental College, I realized that not only was I intelligent, but I also realized that I am a good debater. By 1981, I realized I was ready for a bigger college than Occidental. For my last 2 years of college, I transferred to Columbia University in New York. One of the scariest parts of my life at the time was when I got a call from my Aunt Jane calling from Kenya to tell me that my father, Barack Obama Sr., had been killed in a car accident. This was 2 months before my graduation at Columbia University.
How about your post-college life and your jobs?
After graduating in 1983, I got a job at the Business International Corporation. After resigning, I began working as a community organizer in Chicago. I left for Chicago in June of 1985. When the mayor of Chicago was an African American, I saw that he brought everybody together and gave them pride. This encouraged me to get into politics. This mayor started by studying law. Do you know who else did?
No, who?
The one and only Abraham Lincoln. In May of 1988 I quit my job as a community organizer and was accepted into Harvard Law.
Wow, impressive. So how was law school?
Well, This law school changed my whole life and how it played out. At the end of my first year, I was selected as one of the 70 student editors of the Harvard Law Review. By the end of my second year, I was elected president of the Harvard Law Review.
Wow, I thought you were already saying that you became the President of the United States.
Wow, Beatrice. As I was saying, I was progressing towards a law degree. During the summer of 1989, I worked as a summer associate at a Chicago law firm. The attorney who showed me around was the only African-American attorney in the office, Michelle Robinson. We warmed up to each other and she was impressed by my unusual background. During my last 2 years at Harvard Law, Michelle and I grew closer. When her father died, I flew to Chicago to be with Michelle at the funeral.
When did you graduate from Harvard?
This was in the spring of 1991. I then went to Chicago to take the bar exam. There was not a doubt that I was not going to pass, but I still took Michelle out for dinner that night. I remember that night like it was yesterday. I proposed marriage, and she accepted. I took Michelle to Hawaii and Kenya to meet my family.
Well then, when did you get married?
We got married in October of 1992. It was sad that Michelle's father couldn't witness this day, nor could my grandfather, Stanley Dunham. After we were married, I wrote a memoir about me trying to connect with my father and his African background. A few months after publication, my mom became ill with cancer and died.
Very sad, Mr. President. Let's move past that. So, when did you really get into politics?
Very good question, Beatrice. I got into politics when there was an open spot in the state legislature.
Okay, when did your children become part of the story?
My first daughter was born on the 4th of July in 1998. It was tough to balance my politician life and my family life. My other daughter was born on June 7th, 2001.
Okay, so let's get back to politics. When did you become the state senator?
I became the state senator on January 4th, 2004. I was destined for Washington, D.C. This was when I became known. I was publicly speaking, going to conventions, and everything else in between.
When did you start considering running to be the President of the United States?
In the fall of 2006, I began to think about whether or not to run for president in the 2008 election. BSED off of my peers and my wife's decision, I thought I would give it a shot. I officially announced my candidacy in February of 2007. I saw John McCain became the presumptive nominee for the Republican primary, so I knew what else I was up against. When all of the primary results were in, I had enough delegates to win the Democratic nomination.
Very impressive, Mr. President.
Indeed, as I am here today as president, it is quite obvious that I won the election of 2008. I would like to quote myself. This is our chance to answer that call. This is our moment. This is our time to put our people back to work and open doors of opportunity for our kids. To restore prosperity and promote the cause of peace. To reclaim the American dream and reaffirm that fundamental truth that out of many, we are one. That while we breathe, we hope. And where we are met with cynicism and doubt, and those who tell us that we can't, we will respond with that timeless creed that sums up the spirit of a people. Yes, we can.
Oh my, that was deep.
Yes, it was. I thought of it myself.
Your life is very interesting, Mr. President. Thank you for spending your time with me on this interview.
It's my pleasure, Beatrice. Thank you for writing this very accurate biography.
Well, thoughts about it for this author character interview. I am Beatrice Conley with Barack Obama, and we say goodbye.
Bye.